Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the program. I'm Musa Cerantonio with my brother Areeb Islam, discussing the many dawah fields in which you're involved in. Now, you mentioned that you're involved with the Alternate News Network. One of the other things that you're also involved in is the Deen class. This is something which you've been doing for quite some time. Tell us about this program which you're involved in.
Deen class was three of us got together. Musaid, a friend of mine, Musaid, Bilal and myself. Musaid and Bilal are both graduates of Medina University. They're both from the Sharia department. Very, very knowledgeable men. And the idea was to create something for those who were born Muslims. Those who grew up their whole lives with Islam. They heard every single day the call to prayer. They could speak Arabic, basically. They knew the basics of the Quran. They pretty much just followed suit and did what everybody else did in the Muslim community. But Islam never really touched them. They never really felt that connection with Allah. It just became habits or tradition or customs. And the idea was to create something that people could reconnect. And so the idea with Deen class was to teach Muslims about Islam all over again. And not to make it in a way that people would feel ashamed or embarrassed that they're wanting to find out about Islam and they've grown up as Muslims their whole life. So the idea was to create these classes on a Tuesday evening and on a Sunday. The Tuesday evening classes were 1 hour long, separation between males and females, so that the classes could be done and so people could say what they wanted in the comfort of their own gender. And to talk about things like maybe start with going back to the importance of Tawheed, what it is all about, and going into depth and really looking at what Tawheed means to a Muslim. And then going on to like maybe the 40 Hadith, what to do with riba, how to understand fiqh. And so we started going marriage, how to treat your children, all that. So the idea was to, without making people feel that they're not practicing Islam, to bring them back to Islam proper. And so originally the numbers were maybe 10 or 20 people. At the moment we have 200 plus people attending on the Tuesday evening classes. So it is working. And the idea is to empower Muslims to be proud of being Muslims again. Then on a Sunday, Musaid, who's very good in Arabic, he teaches, all these classes are done for free. He teaches Arabic classes, and he does a beginner's class, and then after the beginner's class is another class where we teach how to communicate in Arabic, just general. So maybe you're a businessman and you want to go to Saudi Arabia, or you're going to one of the Arab states, you come to this class and we'll teach you conversational Arabic. So there's both Quranic Arabic and conversational Arabic. And the numbers have also grown, and it's also used as a dawah tool because people, we advertise or let people know that even if you want to work in an Arab state or you're thinking of going and studying in an Arab state, this will help you. So they come there to learn Arabic, but we also have the opportunity to do dawah with them. And Deen class has spread quite rapidly. Deen class has a website, it's called deenclass.com, just one word, Deen class. And the idea is to continuously do these reconnect and refresh courses. That's what we call them, reconnect and refresh courses. So it really, really helps because some of the new reverts as well, we pulled them into these classes and got them in the classes as well. But the aim is for Muslims who were born Muslims to reconnect with their faith. And obviously the main emphasis of it is to create a deen, to create service, Muslims who will serve and be part of a community again. So that's the main aim of Deen class.
Sounds like a very extensive project. So we've mentioned quite a few things that you're involved in, and this is something extraordinary. And for someone to be involved in, we've mentioned up to 4 very big projects. How do you manage to find the time for all of these things?
Okay, my day is structured like this. In the morning I work at Islamic Propagation Center as a comparative religion teacher until about 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, I go over to Alternate News Network, where I work for about an hour, 2 hours, and I do help with the Dawah department and research. After that, it's Salah time, and then after Salah, I head up to the hospitals, where I do work in the hospitals until the early hours of the evening. Then it's off. I go home and get ready to do activities at home that I need to do. At home, I also run a small little organization that helps with the soup kitchen and helping the people in the area. On a Tuesday night, we do the Deen class, and on the Sunday is the Arabic classes. So that's how my structure fits in.
Now, from what I'm aware, all of these projects which you are involved in, they're all done voluntarily, meaning you're not paid for it.
most of these organizations that I work for, I do it because I believe in the work that I'm doing. The work that I actually get my financing from, the way I make an income to survive, is I deliver yachts. These people have got too much money. They hire me to deliver the yachts for them to different parts of the country, especially along the South African coast. Sometimes they just want to go out for a weekend of fishing, or they want to go out for the afternoon. Film shoots, who want to do film shoots out in the ocean, I go with them as well, and I skipper yachts for them. So inshallah, Allah has protected and will continue to protect me financially through that work. Now, the interesting thing about doing the skippering yachts is that generally people who skipper yachts are big drinkers. They drink a lot of alcohol, they smoke, they take drugs, they're a very unreliable crew, very unreliable bunch of people. Now, I'm generalizing, I'm just talking about the ones that I know. But generally, what you find is they're not terribly reliable. So when the people who own these yachts and have these yachts found out that I was a Muslim, that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, I became like in demand. So at the moment, I've got more jobs than I know what to do with. So inshallah, I've been looked after.
So for someone who's been that involved in Dawah, for someone who's here with us today, been involved in many conferences and seminars and whatnot, what can we look forward to for your future?
That is in the hands of Allah, and only Allah knows best what He wants for me. When I reverted to Islam 7 years ago, my aim was to make up for lost time. Now, all the scholars have told me you're not responsible for what you've done before, and you're not guilty, you start with a new slate and don't worry. But back of my mind, I still have that, all those people that are led to Christianity, all those people that are told that the Bible was the truth and led hundreds of people to Christianity. For me, there's a zeal to undo what I did. And I know that I understand the theological reasoning behind that. I'm not guilty for anything that I did in the past. So today I'm trying to make up for that lost time. And so I get involved in these things, and I do take time for myself. I do take, outside of the 2-month training courses that I do at RPCI, I do have time off for myself. I do, every now and then, I do have people who have sponsored financially to some of the activities that I do and help me to go to other countries and other places to visit. So I do find time apart from this, but generally what keeps me going is that I want to see people come to Islam. Those who know me know that if you open up an envelope, I'll be there to watch you opening up an envelope. If you open up a school, I'll be there to open up the school, to make a dua for the school that's opening up. If a hospital opens, I'll be there to make a dua for that. I really believe in Islam. I really believe in the spread of Islam. I love Allah, I love the deen, I love the community that I work in. And my desire is to see the whole world become Muslim.
I think that's a very good desire that you have there. So for someone that was involved in Christian propaganda and calling people to Christianity, and of course now you've embraced Islam and you're calling people towards Islam, what have you found the reaction to be from the people that you used to be involved with in the Christian community?
First of all, people thought that it was just going to be a phase that I was going through. Obviously, there was shock and anger from many Christians, and especially from family members. But most people thought that it was just a phase. They say, give me a year, and my sister especially, like, it'll be a year and it'll be out of it. I don't know why they thought that, because I never really jumped from one religion to the next in my entire life. I sort of found Christianity and stayed there. So the idea was that after a year it would wear off. 2 years went by and I still hadn't worn off. 3 years, it still hadn't worn off. So people started realizing this is something he's going to commit to. And it was probably in the 3rd or 4th year that people actually started experiencing, if you want, persecution or reaction from people. Many people shunned me. They wouldn't want to, if they saw me coming, they didn't want to talk to me. They would call me, and they called me Shaitan or Satan. There's 2 reactions that take place in South Africa when people see me walking down the road, dressed like I am now. They are the African community. I'll speak the language that they use. They will say Jesu, which means the Prophet Isa. So they either say Jesu, they point to me and they think I'm the Prophet Isa, and I tell them no, I'm not. Or they will say Satan, which is Satan. So you get one of the 2 reactions. So I sort of have a split personality when I walk down the streets in the town that I live. I get one crowd calling me Jesu and the other crowd calling me Shaitan. So I've learned to deal with it. I've had threats. I've had people say that I'm a traitor to my race, I'm a traitor to my religion, I'm a traitor to my faith. And you just take it with your stride. I mean, if they stop doing that, then you start worrying. The minute someone says I'm no longer a threat and I don't have missionaries following me where I go, and I don't have whenever I do public debates or public talks, these people come. Same people every week. Every time we do a public lecture or public talks, it's the same Christians that come every time. And they try to throw in questions that will trap you. They will ask you questions that if you say yes to, half the Muslim population will be angry with you, and if you say no to, the other half of the Muslim population will be angry with you. So they try to divide and split you in your community. So you have to learn to judge with wisdom what they're up to and what they're doing. But generally, I'm quite happy with the way things are going. The Muslim are strong people, and we can handle these things. And the Christian community, they will try to divide you. I mean, just the word denomination means division. Let's have as many denominations, let's have as many numbers as possible. You find there's very little unity amongst the Christian community. So I'm quite happy the way things are going. Inshallah, Allah will continue to protect me and keep me on the right road. I do not know what the future holds, and that is in Allah's hands.
Indeed. Well, it's very good to hear all of the things that you're involved in. It is an inspiration. I ask Allah to allow you to continue in this field of dawah, and all of us together. So we'll leave it at that. That is all the time that we have. It's been excellent being able to sit here to be with you and interview you. So I thank you for coming along, and I thank all of our audience for watching us. So we'll leave you here. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Spread the word, oh man. Spread the word of Islam.